When Marjorie Taylor Greene resigned a few days ago, it stunned almost everyone. The sudden announcement capped a whirlwind month or so where she went from chief Trump cheerleader to persona non grata. Her break with Trump on two particular issues, his big, beautiful bill's assault on tens of millions of people's health care access and affordability, and then, of course, the Epstein files. When she and a handful of other Republicans demanded with the Democrats to see, as candidate Trump had promised, the release of those files, the president singled her out for attacks going so far as to brand her a traitor.
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her.
If Trump thought the Congresswoman would take his broadside mutely, put on her red hat and walk to the back of the room, he was more than mistaken.
Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged.
The fallout for all parties was seismic. After she held her ground, and after those powerful statements from Epstein's victims, the less courageous members of the GOP suddenly found safety in numbers and almost unanimously voted to release the files. But instead of basking in her notable moment of bipartisan respect and public praise, MGT said she was walking away. The why is a chilling reminder of the age we live in and the recklessness of our commander-in-chief. Since Trump tagged her as a traitor, the once MAGA favorite became a pariah to the unhinged as well as a target. Once he made that declaration and also pledged to support a primary challenger in her next race for Congress, the threats started coming. A pipe bomb threat was made to her company, and it was deemed serious enough that the police were involved. So were a pair of emails targeting her son Derek. Both talked directly of assassinating the boy, with one saying ominously, "I already have the plane ticket booked. MGT's son will have his life snuffed out soon. Better watch his back," end quote. On Sunday, Greene said Trump's comments are putting her and her family's life in danger, saying it, quote, puts blood in the water and creates a feeding frenzy. It could ultimately lead to a harmful or even deadly outcome, end quote. For his part, Trump was pleased with the news of Greene's resignation, and when told of the threats against her and her family, he was predictably unbothered. This, of course, is a pattern with our president. Also last week, when a group of Democratic lawmakers, who are all veterans, posted a video reminding military leaders that if the commander-in-chief issues an illegal order, it is their sworn duty, to not carry it out. This, by the way, is the law and not some outrageous concept. Unsurprisingly, this set off Trump. And it also set off a series of unhinged tweets where he again labeled them traitors and said they should either be imprisoned or even be put to death. Here are just a sample. It's called seditious behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President DJT. A little bit later that morning, he says seditious behavior punishable by death. And then, the traitors that told the military to disobey my orders should be in jail right now, not roaming the fake news networks trying to explain that what they said was okay. It wasn't and never will be. It was sedition at the highest level, and sedition is a major crime. One of the senators in the video was decorated naval aviator and astronaut Mark Kelly. He, by the way, is also the husband of Gabby Giffords, she, the former Congresswoman, who was shot when speaking out against gun violence.
What the president said is very serious. I didn't think he would step over that line, calling for the execution of members of Congress. And his words carry tremendous weight, more so than anybody else in the country, and he should be aware of that. And because of what he says, there is now an increased threats against us. I'm not going to get into, details on my personal security, but as the husband of Congresswoman Gabby Giffords, I understand what political violence is. The president should as well. Just like Gabby, somebody tried to assassinate him, and he should understand that his words could have serious, serious consequences.
In a hopeful note, a Republican colleague joined Kelly in condemning Trump's willingness to foment hate in these dangerous times.
Everybody knows that the president is famous for his unfiltered social media. But if you take at face value the idea that calling your opponents traitors and then specifically saying that it warrants the death penalty is reckless, inappropriate, irresponsible. There are a number of other ways to describe it, but it's not something that is helping the country heal wounds. I think it stirs things up, and really I think we can do better.
If anyone should know just how dangerous these times are, especially in the political arena with so much polarization, it should be our president. But the consequences of his reckless language clearly leave him pleased. We should all be worried where this may lead. I just hope more lawmakers of both parties remind the president that for a man who led the January 6th riots in an effort to overturn democracy, that when their colleagues speak out for transparency and the rule of law, they are not the ones being traitorous.